Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to another video of Stardew Valley. For today's video I played 100 days of Stardew Valley as a florist. Let's get into the rules. So the first rule is that we can only sell flower related items, but because flowers don't sell for a whole lot of money, I'm also giving myself the ability to sell honey and to also sell seeds, but that would be the extent of it. The second rule is to complete all community development projects, unlock the theatre and make it into Ginger Island, where we will build the ultimate flower farm. So let's jump into the video and let's see how well we did. It is day number 1 and it is time to build our lovely flower farm. So the first thing we're going to do is clear up some debris around the farm, cut down a couple of trees, make a nice chest we can put all our tools into, and we are going to plant tulips. Now we had parsnips but we sold those to Pierre, we bought tulips instead. So we're also going to run around the map today too and pick up forageables, because yes, we are allowed to sell forageables. We're also allowed to sell seeds, of course, but that'll be the extent of it. I got a lovely anchor down by the beach, so we'll give that into Gunther and get 250 gold off him, and we'll use that to buy more tulips. That's right, we're going to have a cool tulip farm in spring. Now we can also get jazz too, but we're just going to stick to tulips for now. So on day number 2, I'm going to make some lovely wild spring seeds. We're going to hoe some ground here, get it ready for the spring seeds, and these will multiply over the next couple of weeks. And this is going to be our primary money maker, because we're not going to get a whole lot of cash for tulips at the moment. We also get the fishing rod off Lovely Willy, and we're actually going to spend a great deal of time today fishing, and we're going to use all that fish for energy. Day 3 we get the rainy day, but we're actually going to use today getting wood, because we are going to need tons and tons of wood, especially if we want bee houses later on. I also run around the map today and I get some spring onions and I get some forageables if I see them as well, and I'll cut down some trees in Cindersap Forest if I have some energy left over. Level 2 in foraging there, we're looking to get level 7 for tree fertilizer as quickly as possible. And we do a bit more fishing as well, because all that fish, obviously we can't sell it, but we can certainly use it for energy. Day number 4 begins with watering our crops. Many a day will begin with watering crops, unfortunately. But it is back to fishing again to get as much fish as possible before the mines opens up. So I actually got an ancient seed, which is really lucky, but at the same time it's kind of useless to us because we can't use it. We can't sell ancient fruit, but I'm going to plant it nonetheless because it's rare. So day number 5, we're in the mines. Got down to floor 10, I got some nice boots, I'm going to put those on. Extra defense is always greatly appreciated. Got down to floor 19 here, and I got a room here, a spiral floor with crates at the end of it. And I actually got loads of nice goodies out of the crates, but because I got swarmed by so many flies I had to make a quick getaway. I got down to floor 24 here, and there's another room here with nice copper doors, but more importantly, look at all the crates. I broke open all the crates, and yes, I got a nice weapon upgrade. That right there is a wood club, which is a significant upgrade to the steel short sword that I'm using at the moment. So we're going to swap those out straight away. And the wood club is way better. I prefer club weapons myself anyway. So we're making our way through the mines, and it looks like we're going to get down to floor 30 before we call it a day. Floor 30 then is when you get to the dark levels, of course. Day number 7, our tulips are ready to go, so we're going to pick up all these tulips, and this should give us our level 1 in farming, which means we can make our lovely scarecrow for tomorrow. I'm going to sell all these tulips to Pierre, and I'm going to purchase more tulips off him. I should be able to get a lot more this time, so that's 83 tulips we're going to put down in the farm. So as we can see, it will multiply every couple of days because we get more money. We're going to buy more and more tulips all the time. So we're going to end up with a huge, giant flower farm. So on day 7 we're back down in the mines, and this time we're in the middle tier levels, but we still have a regular pickaxe, so it's a bit harder. Day number 8 we're back in the mines again, so I'm just trying to get down here to floor 100 as quickly as possible to get the star drop, because the star drop increases my maximum energy, and I want that upgrade as quickly as possible. On floor 49, of course, it has to give me an infested floor, so it does take quite some time to clear all the enemies out of that floor. But I do make it to floor 50, I get the thunder boots, so I swap those out straight away on day number 8. Day number 9, it is time to activate some of our community center bundles. So the first thing I'm going to get is the spring forageable bundle, because that's giving me 30 free spring seeds by just putting in 4, so it's a trade-off that one cannot ignore. So once we're finished with the farming, we're back into the mines, and if we see diamonds like this, we'll break them open as quickly as possible because we get 150 mining XP for those. On day 10, it's back into the mines again. On floor 79 here now at the moment, and I almost made it to floor 80. Unfortunately, it got too late. I went unconscious. I was so close. But it's no problem, we'll get it the next day. Speaking of which, day 11, we're back in the mines again. And it's just the usual mining, farming ores. We're going to need tons of ores to build our beautiful flower farm. Day number 11, it's a rainy day, but we're going to spend today just getting forageables. We're going to cut down some trees, of course. We spend a whole day cutting down trees to get wood. The reason why we need so much wood is because I need to make tappers. I need to make bee houses. They all cost tons and tons of wood. Day 12, we are still on the lookout for more forageables because we need to get money. We need to upgrade our pickaxe to a copper pickaxe because it's just taking too many swings to break open the regular nodes inside the mines at the moment. So I gave Robin in her axe there for a nice 250 gold. And I spend a great deal of time today just cutting down trees, as per usual, getting even more wood, but also I'm getting my foraging level up as well to try to get that tree fertilizer. Day 13, we get another level up in farming, which is nice, and we get to harvest all these lovely tulips. And what I love about the tulips is that they're all different colours, so it adds a really nice aesthetic to the game. Day 13 as well, we get the lovely Easter event, and we just do it for the laughs. Abigail is the one to beat, of course, and most of the time Abigail beats us. Let's see how we done this time. Let's see if we can beat Abigail. Unfortunately, we don't. Abigail beats us again. I'm so bad at this event. Most of the time, I do lose that event. But on day 14, I plant more tulips on the farm here. And it's nice that it's raining. It means that if I need to hoe extra soil, I don't have to water. Now, as you can see here, the farm is getting bigger. We've got one huge portion of land there with seeds, one huge portion with flowers. It takes hours and hours to water. That's why it's still important for me to fish and fish and fish, because I can use that fish for energy if I need it. On day 16 though, it pays off. All the forageables are now ready to be collected, so I'm going to gather all these up and I'm going to turn all these into more wild spring seeds. So that is 200 plus spring wild seeds right there, and I can make more. What do I do with those? Well, I plant them and I just hold the ground to make more room for more. I get level 5 foraging today. We're going to go with gather, of course. Double harvest, absolutely cannot ignore that. It's a game changer. Day 17, we're looking for more forageables, but the salmon berries are also ripe on the bushes, so we're going to harvest the bushes too to get those lovely salmon berries. As we can see here now, there's daffodils all over the place as well, which is nice. All these forageables means more spring seeds for me. That means more money for me, more foraging XP for me if I want to plant them. The salmon berries come in super handy. One salmon berry on its own isn't great, but if you have hundreds of them, they can come in real handy if you need energy, if you're doing something, especially if you're in the mines. So I go to Clint today and we finally get him to upgrade our pickaxe to a copper pickaxe. I needed 2,000 gold, so I sold a couple of spring seeds to get that money together, and that'll come in really handy for us in a few days when he gives us the upgrade. Back to the farm today now, and I'm just cutting down loads of trees in the farm to accumulate wood, but also I'm going to need the space later on, because when you see the size of the flower farms you're going to have, we're going to need all the space the farm can give us. On day 19, it's more fishing for more energy, of course. And the next day, look at that, our tulips are ready to go again. We're going to harvest all these lovely tulips. So once we get farming to level 6, we can get the quality sprinkler. So we're looking to push farming as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sell all these tulips to Pierre. That puts me up to almost 3,000 gold. The next thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to go back to Pierre and buy more tulips. The reason why I had to leave and then come back was because I didn't have enough inventory slots to fill all the tulips into. Because there's so many different colours and so many different stars. So I purchased hundreds of tulips. I got my copper pickaxe off Clint. Things were looking good for us. Day 21, and look what we have to water today. It's not going to be fun, but it is necessary to rise above this challenge of the Florist. Yes, we are going to spend the majority of today with a regular watering can, watering crops and seeds. It will pay off though. So later on that day I got into the mines and I got down to floor 90. I got the obsidian edge, which is a nice weapon upgrade indeed. And I went to see how far I can get. Now it is very late, I got an infested floor, but the obsidian edge makes the difference, of course. It does make short work of quite a lot of these enemies. The red slimes can be a big threat, especially if they hit you, but not to worry, they were no match for us. Scrolls like that drop, I tend to pick them up. If I see gold clusters like this, I will of course prioritise those, because we need gold, iron and refined quartz to make quality sprinklers. So I got the spiral floor here in floor 99, but it was also a mushroom floor. So instead of taking the early ladder, I actually went all the way down to the bottom, getting diamonds and mushrooms along the way, and crates at the very end for lots of nice prizes and goodies. Speaking of prizes and goodies, look what I got out of a crate. I got a tempered broadsword, which is a big upgrade from the Obsidian Edge, so it has nicer base damage. It also has a nice defensive stat as well, so we won't say no to that. And we made it to floor 100, day 22, we get our lovely Star Drop. This increases our maximum energy. Day 23, look at all these spring forageables. There's hundreds of them here. We are going to pick all these up, we're going to convert them all back into spring wild seeds, and then we're going to sell them for a huge mega profit. Now it took a long time to pick them all up, but it's going to be worth it. Let's see how many seeds we can make with this. 990 spring wild seeds from utilizing the tactic of making seeds, planting them, rinsing, repeating throughout the whole season. We're going to go to Pierre, sell him the seeds. Now we have loads of money, and it's only the 23rd. What are we going to do with all that money we have just gotten? Yes, we are going to get some upgrades for ourselves. We are going to treat ourselves to some nice upgrades. First, we're going to go to Clint, of course. We're going to get him to upgrade our axe to a copper axe. And then we're going to go back to Pierre, and we're going to get a backpack upgrade, because I totally forgot about it the first time. So it's only 2,000 gold for the first one, but it's definitely worth it, because it means we don't have to throw away half as many things. Back into the mines, and I put down a bomb here that I got from killing an enemy, and look at all that lovely gold. So if you're wondering why I'm holding on to my 30,000 gold, you will find out soon enough, but for now we need it, especially because we're getting into summer as well. So I made it down to floor 120, got the skull key. We can now enter Skull Cavern, but first we have to unlock the desert, of course. We also got level 7 foraging, so we can make tree fertilizer. That means we can make lovely tree farms, thank God. Demetrius visits us. I chose the mushrooms because I can get mushrooms every single day, and they're great for energy, especially if I get purple mushrooms. I went to the flower dance, and I bought loads of stuff off Pierre because I want to have a really nice flower farm. So I bought the seasonal decor, the plants, I bought a tub of flowers, I even bought the recipe for it, I bought the rare crow from him, and I even bought 10 dandelions because I have everything else. So if I buy the 10 dandelions, that means I can make a lot more spring wild seeds. So I purchased all those, and I purchased all these decorations as well. So I spent quite a lot of money on decorations, but it will be worth it in the end because I want to make the most beautiful flower farm ever, and all the decorations will be required to make it really nice. So obviously I didn't dance with anyone there because nobody knows who I am. I'm just this stranger farmer that lives down the road. I made 57 tree fertilizer on day 25. It was time to make some nice tree farms. Now I set up some trees over here, and these are all going to have tappers on them. These will generate maple syrups, which will be used to make bee houses. So I started by putting tree fertilizers on those. I got my copper axe back off Clint as well, but we're going to give the axe straight back into him, and I'm going to get him to upgrade it to a steel axe. That means I'll be able to cut down the huge tree stumps, but that also means I'll be able to access the secret woods, and I can get the hardwood inside there as well. So I sold more stuff to Pierre, back up at 20,000 gold, and today is the 25th. Now I can't grow the tulips because they take 6 days, so we're going to leave it off instead. But that's okay, it's good to take a break from farming once in a while. We do have a huge patch of tulips planted already anyway. That'll be good to go in the next few days. Rest of the day was spent putting down tree seeds and putting tree fertilizer on those. Day 26, look at all our lovely tulips, they are ready to be harvested, and of course we will oblige. Let's see if this can bump us up to level 6 farming so we can get quality sprinklers ready for summer. And as we can see, I just got level 6 farming there, which is great. That means tomorrow, if I have the materials of course, I'll be able to prep the farm for summer. So I'll be able to make some nice quality sprinklers and get this farm all up to date for when summer comes in. So I went to the mines. I have loads of gold ore. I'm going to process all that into gold bars of course. Level 5 farming, we're going to go with tiller of course. Crops were 10% more profit for us. And level 6 farming, we can make the quality sprinkler. Back to Clint on the 27th, we got our steel axe, which is great. And this time we're going to get him to upgrade the watering can, because we will have to water on the first day of summer. And if I end up buying hundreds of crops, the job will be made a little bit easier. I also spend the rest of the day just getting rid of the big stumps around the farm because it gives a lot of hardwood, and I also wanted to clean up the farm a bit too and make more space. I also went into the secret woods here as well to get all the hardwood inside here. It's good to start collecting hardwood as early as possible too, especially for the Ginger Island unlock later. You need 200 hardwood for the hull. So I made tons of quality sprinklers today. We are now going to go back to the farm, put on all the sprinklers, and our farm is now good to go for summer. It is ready. I went to Pierre as well on the first day of summer and I bought poppy seeds off him. I can also buy spangle seeds too if I want them, and I can also get sunflower seeds, so I have a nice selection of flowers at my disposal. So I get 200 spangles, 100 poppies, and I go to the Georgia Mart because sunflower seeds are much cheaper there, and I spend the rest of my money on sunflower seeds. The great thing about sunflower seeds is that there's a very good chance when you harvest a sunflower it'll drop a seed, so you only have to buy a batch of them once. So the rest of that day was just spent planting the seeds, and I'm going to have to water all this as well, and I'm going to have to hold the ground because a lot of it caved in when the seasons changed. So today was going to be a busy day of farming. But on day number 30 we're back down in the mines, and this time we're looking for copper. The reason why we're looking for copper is because we want to make tappers. We need to make tons and tons of tappers. Because all our trees are going to be fully grown soon, and I need to put tappers on them so they can start generating syrups for me. So day 31 I made the tappers, going to put them on all these trees, and this will be a nice source of income as well. You know, if I don't want to make bee houses, if I just want to sell the syrups, I can do that. So I'm going to activate the summer foraging bundle. This is going to give me 30 free summer foraging seeds, summer wild seeds that I'm going to plant. And the great thing about summer wild seeds is that you only need 3 forageables to make a summer wild seed instead of the usual 4. So summer is a great time to stock up on tons of summer seeds. It's a great time to make huge amounts of money. I'm smelting iron bars today, and the thing about iron bars is that we need loads of those for bee houses. Now I just made 2 bee houses for now because I only have 2 maple syrups, but soon enough I'll have loads of maple syrups. I'll be able to make loads of bee houses. So I'm just going to put those there beside those flowers, and that was actually a mistake. I should have put them down at the bottom where the other flowers would have grown faster, but sure, look, I learned from that mistake. Day 33, it's raining, we're in the secret woods, and we are farming wood. Specifically, we're farming hardwood. The reason why I'm farming hardwood now is because I want to accumulate mahogany seeds, so later on I can grow a nice mahogany farm and get tons and tons of hardwood if I need it for something. I also got access to the Bathouse area, so we're going to use the Bathouse area for another tree farm. Now because I'm using, I think it's the Earthly Recolor mod, I can't see the seeds when they go down, so I have to be super careful where I plant these seeds to grow trees up out of the ground. But thankfully I do have the green squares on the ground that will kind of tell me when I can plant one, so there shouldn't be any issues at all. But I'll check them tomorrow just to make sure that they were planted correctly. So we're day 35, and I'm just putting down more seeds here in the farm, and these are all summer seeds of course, and this should increase the foraging skill and give us a huge profit when it is finished. So we're going to collect the rewards today. We're going to get the Dwarves Translation Guide and the Starfruit Seeds just for handing a couple of artifacts. I'll sell the Starfruit Seeds, but look at this, on day 36, yes, it has finally happened. Look at all the maple syrups. I'm going to take all these maple syrups and I'm going to convert all these into bee houses. We also got our first lot of poppies, so we're going to harvest all of these and we're going to sell these for a nice profit. So we're going to go to Pierre here now. We have some wild honey, and we also have tons of poppies just for him. Look at all the money we're going to get. That puts us up to almost 20,000 gold. What are we going to do with all that? We are going to buy tons of poppies. So I'm going to start by getting 1 batch of poppies. So we'll start with 100 and then we'll see how much money we have after that. A poppy seed costs 100 gold, so it's 10,000 for the full batch. So that's 100 right there. I'm down to 9,285 gold. So what I decided to do was just get another batch and just invest in the flower farm. That's 192 poppies in total. There's no point holding on to the money if I'm not going to use it. So I said to myself, I'm better off to just buy as many poppies as I can, plant them, and then just reap the rewards in a few days when they can be harvested. So day 37 and the summer spangles ready to go, along with some of the sunflowers. And as we can see, the farm looks really nice. So I'm going to harvest all these. I'm going to sell these as well. The biggest challenge with the flower farm is that many of the flowers come in different colours, and they also come in different qualities. So they use up an awful lot of inventory slots. Now with the sunflowers it's fine. There's literally just regular sunflower, silver star, and there's gold star sunflowers. But with other types of flowers, there's tons of different combinations. So I'm going to sell all these to Pierre, and the reason why I'm selling them to Pierre directly is because I don't want to have to wait an extra day to buy a new batch of crops. So it's faster to just sell stuff to him directly and then buy crops back straight away. We're going into the Georgia Mart to purchase a sneaky Georgia membership, and the reason why we're going to Georgia route is because it's easier to get Ginger Island unlocked, because we want to have a beautiful flower farm in Ginger Island as well, and the earlier we get to Ginger Island, the better the farm is going to look. Day 37, we're back down in the mines looking for copper, but I found a slime here with a star over his head, and these slimes normally drop really good items, so I decided to just take him out, and he dropped the lead rod, which wasn't great for me, but sometimes they can drop glow rings, and they can drop magnet rings, which is really nice as well. Day 38, it is time to harvest some of our summer wild seeds. And as we can see here now, I have the gatherer profession, so I'm getting a lot more spice berries, sweet peas and grapes than I normally would get, and I'll turn all those back into summer wild seeds. So that's 90 summer wild seeds ready to go, so I'm going to plant those straight back down in the farm. And day 39 is the luau, and I had a nice gold star summer spangle here ready to go, so I just put it into the soup just to see what kind of effect it would have. The mayor took a sip and he liked it. He didn't love it, but he liked it. Or sorry, not the mayor, the governor, who we see once a year. He liked the soup, which is good. He said it's a very pleasant soup. The produce from his valley never disappoints. So that is basically another day down. Day 40, look at all this beautiful maple syrup. We're going to harvest all this, and of course we're going to try to convert all that into bee houses. Back to the mines. Look at all this iron. We're going to try to combine the iron bars with the maple syrups to make bee houses. We also need wood and coal as well. The biggest problem at the moment, believe it or not, is coal. So I made more tappers. I'm gonna attach these tappers to all these trees up at the bathhouse area. Day 41, it's raining, but look at all the bee houses we have now. We have tons of bee houses, and eventually all that honey will be specialized honey. It'll be poppy honey and sunflower honey, so it'll sell for a lot more money. Day 42, we have more lovely summer wild seeds ready to go. So we're going to harvest all these, and we're going to turn these right back into summer wild seeds, these lovely forageables. So it is time to make, yes, more quality sprinklers. So I made 8. I think I need to make more though. And the reason for this is that the farm is expanding, because I keep buying more and more flowers. I keep making more and more wild seeds. So more and more sprinklers have to be made. But that's good, because in the long run it means more profit for us. It means more money. So I put more tappers on the trees here now. That's going to give me a lot more syrups. And day 43, we have another batch of poppies ready to go. So look at all these lovely poppies that we are going to harvest. So I'm going to sell all the poppies to Pierre again, and this is going to get me loads of money. So this is going to push me right up into the 50k mark. What do we do with that? Well, we buy more poppies, of course. So I'm just going to buy 200 poppies. I'm going to leave it at 200, and I'm going to keep that money for upgrades, for community development upgrades. So this time I'm getting some poppy honey along with wild honey, which is really good. And some of the poppies will reach the bee houses over on the other side as well, here on the opposite side. So that poppy honey will sell for a lot more than wild honey. I also set up the sprinklers wrong, so I'm going to have to water, as you can see, a portion of the farm there. So we went to Clint. We're going to upgrade the hoe first of all. It's time to get some basic tools upgraded to make our lives easier, especially when you get a transition in seasons. That's when the hoe and the watering can become super important. So I was lacking wood again. Harvested loads of wood that day. Day 45, look at all our lovely flowers. We have summer wild seeds, we have sunflowers, we have summer spangles, all ready to go, ready to be harvested. Now I was super careful this time. I made sure to keep one line of summer spangles so that I could get the specialized honey. Now you don't need one flower per bee house, you know, but because I wasn't too sure of the range, I just kept the line of flowers there, just to be on the safe side. Look at all these lovely spice berries, grapes and sweet peas that I'm going to get. I wonder how many summer wild seeds I'll be able to make from these. Probably hundreds, I'd say, because we only need 3. Let's make some right now. Let's see how much we can make. 390 wild summer seeds ready to go. So what I done was I literally just used up all of the farmland I had to plant the summer wild seeds. I also got level 10 farming, so I'm just going to go with artisan so I get more for the honey. I was going to pick agriculturist so the flowers grow 10% faster, but the honey sells for a real nice amount of money. That 40% extra profit was too good to pass up. Day 46, we're back down into the mines, and this time we're farming up iron because we want to make more bee houses. So it's another day of mining, another day of smelting bars. We also go to Clint as well. We got a copper hoe off Clint, which is really nice. And we're going to talk to Clint again. This time we're going to upgrade our hoe to a steel hoe. So we're going to try to get all the stools up to steel tier now. Day 47 was spent decorating the farm, so I decided to put a pat down here, which makes looting these tappers a lot easier as well, because when you put down the pat it means stuff doesn't grow like seeds and little mini trees that can block your path. So on day 48, this is what the flower farm now looks like. It's got a little path that goes down through the farm, and it's got a nice path on top as well. As we can see here now, I'm getting poppy honey, summer spangle honey and sunflower honey. So all different types of honey that would sell for all really nice amounts of money. And we spend the rest of the day just cutting down trees as per usual, because wood is something we constantly need, especially if we want to make floors for decorating the farm, if we want to make bee houses, if we want to make tappers. We need wood for all of that. As we can see, we get the most money for the poppy honey, 532 gold, and that's not bad at all for poppy honey. Day 50, we get, yes, more summer wild seeds. Story of our lives, the summer wild seed. We're going to harvest all this. Now it is the 21st, so this will more than likely be the last harvest that we will see for summer forageables. So I'm hoping I'll be able to make an absolute ton of summer wild seeds from this. I'll sell those and then I will make an absolute ton of money in the process. Let's see how much I get. 470, which is amazing. There's also an ancient fruit there that can be harvested, but you know, I don't really bother with it because I can't really use it, but I keep it there for inspiration. So we're going to get a community development project here. We're going to go with the bus. We can access the desert. The reason why I start with the desert is because we can access Skull Cavern, so if we want to get that nice iridium ore, we have access to that through the Skull Cavern, of course. You can also get some other nice good things in the Skull Cavern too, but more importantly we also get access to the desert area if we want to put more tree farms up there. It's a nice space that we can use. So we get some upgrades there off Clint. Day number 50, we are back to putting poppies on the old farm. And as we can see now, day 51, the farm is much bigger. Look at all these lovely poppies ready to be harvested. So what we do here is we're going to harvest all these poppies except the ones directly opposite the bee houses, of course, because we don't want to get rid of our lovely specialized honey just yet. So I leave all those. Now again, I don't have to leave them all. I know I can just have to leave a few, but because I wasn't too sure on the range, I just left them all. But a few wouldn't make a difference anyway in terms of overall profit. As we can see, I've got 102,000 gold right now. What do we do with all this money? Well, we go to the Judge Mart and we're going to purchase tons of sunflower seeds. I mean tons. And the reason why I can get so many is because sunflowers will also survive in fall. They survive in summer and fall. So it's also a great transitional crop. If you're looking to transition your farm from summer to fall, you don't always have to use hay. You can use sunflowers. So it was another community development project of Morris, and he'll get working on that overnight, which is great. So day 52, we're at the desert, and I have some mahogany seeds, just a few though. I'll plant these in the desert along with some other regular seeds, and I'll use tree fertilizers so they'll grow very quickly. That means I can harvest those later. If I just need hardwood and regular wood, they'll be good to go for us. So we'll start making use of the lovely desert space. It was back to Morris for another community development project. So I have the bus, I have the minecarts. It was now time to unlock the quarry and use the quarry space for even more tree farms. But before we go to the quarry, look at all these summer wild seeds ready to be harvested. And this time there was a lot. There was so much, we're probably going to get over 1,000 summer wild seeds by the time we're finished harvesting all these. So let's see how much we can make. 990 wild seeds right there, and that's just the first batch. So we're going to go back to the Georgia Mart. We're going to purchase even more sunflower seeds, and we're just doing this primarily for the transition. Eventually they will be replaced with more potent fall crops, but for now the sunflowers will do just fine. We finally get level 10 forage, and we're going to go with botanist, of course, which means everything we pick up off the ground will be of iridium quality. And we make a nice 78,000 gold, primarily from selling honey and by selling other stuff as well, like poppies and things like that, and summer seeds. So it's back to Mars again for another development. This time we're just going to go with panning. We're leaving the greenhouse to last because we don't really need the greenhouse, because we're going to be taking everything over to Ginger Island later on. So I got some special nodes here in the quarry. I was hoping for the prismatic shard from one out of the two of these nodes, but unfortunately I didn't. Just got some gold ore and iridium ore. But that's okay, because at the end of the day I cleared up the whole quarry and I used it as another place where we can start a tree farm. And this is going to house a huge tree farm. I'm going to fill up this whole quarry space with trees. And I also made enough tree fertilizer as well to cover the huge area that the quarry is. Day 55 I went into the cave and I got myself the golden scythe, which is really nice for harvesting things that you need to harvest with a scythe. It's better than the regular scythe, has a better range. Back to Clint today. It is time to get the pickaxe upgraded to a steel pickaxe. And up in the bathhouse area, it seems that our tappers up here have finally activated. It was loads of oak resins, and we're not going to make kegs. Instead we're just going to sell these and make money off them. So it's just extra money in our pocket. It's just an extra source that we have that generates money for us. It might not be a whole lot of money, but it can come in handy if we're in a pinch. Day 55, it's more hardwood, and we're also back on our farm today, and we're just cutting down the rest of the trees that are on the farm to just get the rest of the wood that the farm has to offer. So as we can see here now, it's day 56. I'm getting more different types of lovely honey that we're going to sell. Sunflower honey, poppy honey, summer spangle honey. I also get to steal a pickaxe off Clint as well today, which is great. So I can now break open these huge rocks on my farm, which means more space for me to make an even bigger farm if I want to. So this time we're going to get the greenhouse, and the reason why we got the greenhouse is because it's the last update, and it just means that we can now get into Ginger Island, because that's all the community updates unlocked. So it's now fall, and it is fairy rose time. Bear in mind that fairy rose honey is the most profitable honey in the game, and we are going to exploit that big time. So I'm going to use most of my money here and purchase tons and tons of fairy roses. I start off with 300 fairy roses. I'm going to plant those in the farm. Bear in mind I also have a lot of sunflowers on the farm as well. And I also treat myself to another backpack upgrade. I was looking at it for quite some time, and I decided to finally treat myself today and get that third inventory unlocked. So I made a little nice patch over here for my fairy roses. I hope you all like it. And this is going to be a nice cool area when all the fairy roses come to fruition, because they're all going to be different colours. It's going to be really nice. So I went back to Clint today, 59. I've got gold bars, and I wanted him to upgrade my pickaxe to a gold pickaxe. So I'm going to get Clint to upgrade all my tools down to gold tools eventually. I'm going to get the curious substance quested off the wizard because I wanted the mini obelisks. And I farmed ghosts for the day in the cave until I got the ectoplasm, which I gave him. That was a nice quest completed. And I also get some nice money for the quest. 2,500 gold, nothing to snuff at of course, in the bag. So the next thing we're going to do now on day 60 is we are going to harvest all of these lovely sunflowers. And as we can see, there's tons of sunflowers. Best thing about sunflowers is that when we harvest them, they'll drop sunflower seeds, so I can just replant them on the ground again if I want. I won't have to go to Pierre and buy fresh sunflowers, or go to the Georgia Mart and buy sunflowers, because Pierre will just rip us off. Speaking of sunflowers, look at all that lovely sunflower honey we are going to sell. So we are going to make lightning rods today because we need battery packs if we want to get to Ginger Island. We need batteries. We also need 200 hardwood, and we need 5 iridium bars. And that is the sound of mega bombs blowing up all these lovely trees in the quarry. Now I could have got my axe and I could have cut down all the trees, but it would have taken way too long. So instead I purchased a few mega bombs off the dwarf and I just blew down a few trees, but I do cut the rest of them down. There was just way too many to cut. I've been all week there cutting down trees. Day 61, I'm going to plant all these lovely power pylons. Hope for a rainy day soon, and I get my gold pickaxe off Clint. And we're going to get Clint to upgrade another tool. This time we'll go with the watering can to get the gold watering can. They will all come in really handy too for when we go Ginger Island exploring. So I purchased around 100 bombs after Dwarf today, which used up the rest of my money. I'm getting ready for Skull Cavern. I also started processing common mushrooms here in the seed makers to get back fall seeds. If you didn't know, there is your tip of the day. If you have common mushrooms, put them into a seed maker, you get back fall seeds. What did I do with the fall seeds? I planted them on the farm because this way it'll be a nice little money maker for us when we sell all these later on. Day 63, it's back to Clint. Steel watering can for us. And we're going to get him to upgrade something else as well later on. But for now, we are going to go to Gus and we are going to purchase salads off Gus for the Skull Cavern. So that's our bombs in the bag and that is our salads in the bag. We just needed a few more items now and then Skull Cavern would be the next thing to do to get iridium bars to get into Ginger Island. So the day before I went to Skull Cavern, I got a triple shot espresso. I got some spicy eels by trading in some rubies. I got some warp totems to the desert by trading in omni geodes, and I also picked up a few staircases from a few jades I had lying around the place from the regular mines. I also cut down the trees as well before I left that were fully grown now to get lots more hardwood. So day 64, it was time to Skull Cavern. Now it wasn't the greatest of runs, but we just needed enough to get 5 iridium bars so we could get to Ginger Island. Now I do get a lot more than that. I actually get so much iridium that I'm able to make a lot of iridium sprinklers for Ginger Island, which is really good. I got really lucky too with holes. Now obviously I made it past 425, so I will get 10,000 gold off key the next day for doing that, which is also really nice. Day 65, it's time to upgrade the boat. 200 hardwood for the hull, 5 iridium bars for the anchor, and 5 battery packs for the ticket machine. So we'll be able to go to Ginger Island the very next day if we so wish. So also on day 65, I'm back in the mines here and we're smelting more bars and making gold bars this time for iridium sprinklers. And at the end of that day, we can see Willie and Robin repairing the boat that will bring us to Ginger Island. So when we get to Ginger Island, I didn't want to collect all the golden walnuts. All I wanted was enough to get into Key's secret walnut room so I can get a few items to make this run a bit more interesting. So I'm not going to show every single golden walnut on this run. If you want to see a guide on how to get all the golden walnuts, check out my golden walnut guide. You'll see a link up there at the top of the video, and that will show you where to get every single one in record time. So what I'm doing here now is just running around the island getting golden walnuts, and I'm trying to unlock my house so I can sleep here. And I just about get enough golden walnuts together on the first day to get the house done so I can sleep here tonight. The next day I went into the volcano and I got mermaid boots, which is a really nice boot upgrade for me. More defense, more immunity. So I got rid of my space boots. Welcome the mermaid boots. I would have preferred the dragon scale boots, but the mermaid boots aren't bad. I reached the forge area, I got a prismatic shard, and I'll use that later on to get a galaxy sword. I also unlocked the west side of Ginger Island here, where Professor Snail resides, and that starts his artifact hunting quest. And I went to the desert to trade in my prismatic shard for the galaxy weapon, the galaxy sword. I always feel safer with a galaxy weapon. So I got the mummified frog there by just breaking open some weeds here. And it was raining, so we have a gem bird. So that is the east gem bird, which dropped the ruby. I just need 4 more gem birds to beat that gem bird puzzle. So if we see a rainy day in Ginger Island, we'll make the most of it. I also got the fossilized spine today too for Professor Snail's quest, which was nice. So the next day I got the snake skull, I fished that up, no bother at all. And there was just a few more items I needed to finish off his artifact collection. And the reason why you should try to finish off his artifact collection as quickly as possible is the amount of golden walnuts he gives you. Day 69, look at this beautiful sunflower farm. Isn't it the most beautiful flower farm I've ever seen? 78,000 gold from selling all those beautiful sunflowers, and they're actually not too bad. 132 gold for a Ghost Star sunflower. It's nice. Best thing about it is I didn't have to buy any new sunflowers to replenish that stock because I got free seeds. Day 70, our fairy roses are good to go, and I'm going to harvest all these, of course, sell these to Pierre for even more money. Look at all the money we have now. We are now officially rich with 256,000 gold. What do we do with all this money? Well, we buy more fairy seeds, of course, but we don't just buy a few, we buy an absolute truckload of fairy seeds. So we start with 300, but then I said, you know what, let's just go with a full stack. 999 fairy seeds. I didn't stop there though, I just kept going till I ran out of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant those on our farm, but I'm also going to plant the rest of them over on Ginger Island. And when I'm finished, I am going to make huge amounts of money. Also, the fairy rose honey is nothing to snuff at. I'm going to make tons of money from the fairy rose honey. Back to the mines, smelted some bars in day 71 here. Copper bars to be precise, to make more tappers. 952 gold for a fairy rose honey. I made tons of money today. Day 72, it was time for the Stardew Valley Fair. I didn't have a whole lot of stuff on me, so what I did here is I just put in one of each type of honey that I accumulated so far, along with a maple syrup and oak resin and some flowers. And it didn't work out too bad. I got second place, 500 star tokens, which I gambled until I had enough stars to purchase everything at the Stardew Valley Fair stall, including the star drop, of course, which is why we come here, primarily for the star drop. Day 73, I took on Robin's project to get 80 hardwood off Robin. Then it was back into the volcano to get more resources. Day 74, I finally unlocked the resort, so people can visit, but more importantly, it unlocks a new section of Ginger Island for me, which is the cave area here. So I played the pirate dart game, and you can do this 3 times, and you get 3 golden walnuts in total. It gets harder each time, but it's still easy enough to do. So that was 3 more golden walnuts in the bag for me. Day 75, it was another day of lovely fairy rose honey. So this is going to be another huge profit for us. And I also went back to Ginger Island and I purchased the deluxe retaining soil recipe because I wanted to set up the greenhouse area now with deluxe retaining soil instead of sprinklers to make it look nice. I spent a whole day doing up the greenhouse. This is the end result. I hope you like it. This is our lovely Florist greenhouse. Bear in mind, the bee houses don't work in the greenhouse, of course I know that. The reason why they're in there is just for aesthetic purposes. So that is the lovely Florist greenhouse for you to enjoy. Day number 76, I got a pearl and another golden walnut over on the side of the beach. I also started mining open some mussel nodes here in the hopes to get more golden walnuts, and I got one. I also finished up Robin's quest for 80 hardwood. So that was another nice few thousand gold in the pocket. 2,000 gold, thank you very much. So it was day 77, and again, look at our lovely, beautiful sunflower farm. Have you ever seen so many sunflowers in your life? The hardest thing about this florist farm wasn't planting the crops, but it was taking it up. Because it looks so nice, I just wanted to just leave it there and look at it. But we had to move on. So, as per usual, I harvested all the sunflowers, which took me the majority of the day, and with the seeds I got out of it then, I just replanted them again. Day 78, it was back to Clint. It was time to upgrade more tools. So this time we're going to upgrade the axe to the gold axe, which makes our lives a little bit easier. And then of course we are purchasing bombs off the dwarf inside the volcano cave, because I was looking for the mummified bat. And the only way I was getting that was just literally putting bombs all over the volcano until one came out of a node. I was also collecting more golden walnuts to get access to Key's secret walnut room, which we just got access to now. I had a choice between 2 quests. Key's prismatic range is the one we were going to go with, 35 key gems, because there was no way we were going to do Key's kindness. We just weren't set up for it. I had most of the items needed for his prismatic range quest. For blue, I purchased 100 George Colas. And for red, I decided to purchase 100 cherry bombs off the dwarf here in the mines. Now, it did cost me quite a lot of money, but I had money to burn. More importantly, I needed the key gems to get one specific item in total, and that was Pierre's missing stock list, which means when we get into winter, I can access all the flowers from his store. I needed 50 key gems for his missing stock list, and I had 35, so I just needed 15 more to get that. Day 80 was back to Clint to get the lovely gold axe from him, and we'll just give him another tool to upgrade here now. This time we'll give him the watering can to upgrade to a gold watering can. So I went back to the quarry today. It was time for the new quarry project. I cleared off all the debris again in the quarry. We were going to put down new machines here. Speaking of which, charcoal killings were the first to go down, so I made 34 of those, and they are going to fix my need for coal. Because I had so much wood accumulated by now, the best thing to do is just convert all the wood into coal so I can make more bee houses if I wanted to. So these are all the charcoal kindles in action and they're all set up there in the quarry. I also planted an absolute ton of mahogany seeds which I accumulated from cutting down trees over in Ginger Island, and I put tree fertilizer on those, so I'm going to get tons of hardwood back from those. Day 82, look at all these beautiful fairy roses. Doesn't it look so nice? And again, the hardest thing about today is going to be pulling these fairy roses up out of the ground to sell them. I wish I could just keep them there and admire it, but we had to move on with the challenge, of course. So it was time to harvest these fairy roses and to make huge amounts of money. So it took a long time to harvest all these fairy roses, but it will be worth it, of course, because we're going to get lots of money in return. Speaking of which, 223,000 gold in the bag. Fairy roses aren't too shabby when it comes to making profits. Day 83, I went to the Halloween event here and I purchased some decorations, and I also went through the maze as well and I got the golden pumpkin. But the main reason I came here was just to get the decorations to make our cool little farm later on. The golden pumpkin is a nice treat. I don't actually use that. That ends up in a chest and the chest ends up being forgotten about. Day 84, it was time to move these bee houses out of here and bring them over to Ginger Island, so our great transition begins. It was time to abandon the Stardew Valley farm and move everything over to the Ginger Island farm. It was perfect timing too, because I just got the gold hoe off Clint, and we can use the hoe to quickly pick up the bee houses, which is really nice. You can just charge up the hoe and it'll pick up all the equipment for you. So the Ginger Island farm has a ton of fairy roses on it at the moment, but it's up to us to clean that farm up and to make it look really nice. And in order for us to do that, we are going to have to sacrifice a bit of land on the Ginger Island farm. So I got Key's Prismatic Grange quest again, and I just did it very quickly just to get the key gems I needed to get Pierre's missing stock list. So that's 50 key gems, definitely worth it. We're going to hand that in to Pierre now, and that will activate his whole crop list for us regardless of what season it is, which just makes Pierre super helpful. So we can now access the spring, summer and fall crops off Pierre, no problem at all. So we're going to get tulips, we're going to get poppies, we're going to get jazz, we're going to get summer spangle seeds, we're going to get sunflowers, we're going to get everything, and we're going to put them all on the Ginger Island farm to make it look really cool. But there was a lot of work that had to be done to the Ginger Island farm. This alone wasn't good enough for a nice florist farm. So I was going to harvest all these fairy roses, and now it was time to put down the seeds carefully in a certain order to make the farm look really nice. So it was time for the biggest challenge of this video, that is to make the ultimate florist farm on Ginger Island. So it's day number 87 and we have our work cut out for us. I also went to Robin and I purchased wood chippers, which will allow me to break down the hardwood into regular wood. I can then break down the regular wood into coal. So it was a really nice setup I had in the quarry here, using a combination of wood chippers and charcoal kindles. And I also had loads of mahogany trees growing as well, so I was going to get hundreds and hundreds of hardwood in the next few days from those trees. It was back to Mars. I had a ton of money to spend, didn't know what to do with it, so I said, you know what, Mars, here's 500,000 gold, put a movie theatre into Stardew Valley for everyone's entertainment, and Morris was super happy. Thanks a mil. Day 88, it was time to get all this beautiful hardwood. Look at all these hardwood trees. We're going to cut all these down with our lovely gold axe, and we're going to convert all that hardwood into regular wood, and then of course convert all the regular wood into coal. And this is why the quarry is such a nice place to get set up like this, because I got back loads of mahogany seeds from all the hardwood trees I cut down, so I could very easily replicate the mahogany farm again, and you could just rinse and repeat this until the cows come home. And trust me, the cows never come home. So I replanted all the seeds again, and I'll put tree fertilizer on those as well, so that in the next few days, if I need it, I can very quickly cut down those trees again. I can get hardwood, I can get regular wood, I can get coal, whatever I need I can get. I gave Leo a ticket voucher, and he seemed to know what it was, and he said he'd meet me in the movies. I didn't know, or didn't even ask him how he was going to get over to see the movies, but he got there. He met me in the theatre, and we saw the miracle of the Cold Star Ranch together. Day 89, I got the Juicy Bugs Wanted quest, and the reason why I picked up this quest was because I was coming in here anyway to get stone and to get copper, but primarily I needed stone, so I was looking for the big stone clumps to make stone flooring, because I needed to make a lot of flooring for the way I wanted my farm to look. So if I saw bugs as well, I just killed them. So I spent a whole day in the mines killing slimes and bugs and getting ores and breaking open the big stone clumps to get lots and lots of stone. So day 90 was much of the same. It was just killing bugs, getting stone, getting ores, getting minerals. Anything I saw that could be collected was indeed collected. Also, if I saw emerald nodes like this, I always pick them open because they give nice bursts of XP, which is great to get the mining up. So I was almost finished with Willy's quest. It was day number 90 here. I actually almost finished our 100-day challenge. And that was the last bug I needed to get it to 100 bug meat. So that was the quest done. Just had to drop off the bug meat there next to Willy's house. And that was the quest complete. More money in the bag for us. 3,000 gold. So, day 91, we are back on Ginger Island. And as we can see, we have loads of different types of flower crops that are now grown. I also done this little area down by the beach. This is just the start of it, of course. So as we can see here, we've got benches, we've got lamps, we've got garden pots with tea saplings growing inside. I couldn't put regular crops in the garden pots, wouldn't let me, so I just went with tea saplings. I also went to the winter event here, and I purchased a few trees of the winter star along with some other decorations. And I also did the event which I won, and I got the cool sailor's cap for getting the most fish. And I actually use that sailor's cap because I think it's a really nice cap. So I put on a sailor's cap and I put a few decorations down on my little Ginger Island project here, and this is what the area looks like now. And there's even a nice little area there on the right hand side with a snowman serving up a pina colada with a few kegs in the back. But still a lot more work was to be done. So day 94, this is the start of what our super florist farm is going to look like. But still a lot of work needs to be done to make it look pretty. So we were going to spend the whole of today putting tons of work into this farm to make it look good, to make it look organised, but more importantly to make it look pretty. So I purchased an iridium rod off Willy here on day 95. We are going to go decoration hunting. There are lots of rare decorations scattered all over Stardew Valley. Starting with the decorative trash can, of course. We pulled that one up from the fountain there, just down from the community centre. I also went into the movie theatre to play the crane game, and I got these really nice deluxe tree sets. I got 2 of those. I also got all the Junimos as well, all the different coloured Junimos. They're really nice decorations. Now you can get tons of different decorations from the crane game, but my time was limited, so I just got a few. Day 97 I got the nice Junimo statue, and I picked up the golden merlus as well, which we can add to our Ginger Island farm. I went back to Ginger Island, I pulled up the Gorman statue. Now you can actually get as many of these statues as you want, it isn't just limited to one. But for now I just got the one. I also got the squirrel figurine too, which is another really nice decorative statue that we can place anywhere we want. So we were going to put all these in our lovely Ginger Island farm to make it look really nice. So I also went to Robin here too, and I got her to construct a stables, because I wanted to use the horse over in Ginger Island to get around faster. So that's all I did in day 98. To be honest, I was just running out of stuff to do. I just wanted the challenge to be over with. So day 98, I got Robin to put his stables down. Day 99, I went into Key's secret walnut room and I purchased myself a lovely horse whistle. Now I couldn't use the whistle today because the stables wasn't ready, but I will be able to use it tomorrow. Day 100, it is the big day. I played my lovely horse flute, summoned the Pegasus horse, and it is now time to give you the grand tour of the 100-day flower farm on Ginger Island. So without further ado, let's roll on in and show you what I have done. And here we have it. This is the florist farm on Ginger Island. I really hope you like it. This was probably the most intense decorative work I have ever done. Some people might not like it, but I think in all fairness I did a pretty good job. Let me know in the comments if you like the layout of this Ginger Island farm. So as we can see, I've got the trees there from the deluxe crane game beside the shipping bin. I made a path going down through my farm with the flowers, and I put more decorations down here at the bottom as well. You can see the squirrel figurine there and the decorative trash can. I've got the gourmet frog down there by the beach. I even managed to get myself a galaxy soul that I put on the table. So this is it. This is the finale. The Super Florist Ginger Island Farm. What a challenge run this was. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like the video if you haven't done so yet. Really helps me out. And I really hope you like this challenge. If you want to see more challenges like this, also let me know in the comments. If you like my decoration skills, let me know. If you don't like my decoration skills, be honest and let me know. Let me know what you would have done if you had to make a florist farm. So I'm going to leave the video there, and I really hope you enjoyed this challenge. If you've liked the video, then hit that subscribe button to make sure that you see more of my content when it comes out in the future. Stardew Valley is something that has always been released on this channel. So if you like Stardew Valley, if you like farming simulator games in general, then you're going to love this channel. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a great week. Bye for now.